empire from the shadows, with leverage bigger than the cartels knew. Dominating markets without a single trace, knowing exactly what absolute power would do. Years kept pulling the feds in different directions, indictments, wiretaps, and federal art. But the core architects of the syndicate never revealed a single vulnerable part. Some street bosses slowly became informants, some rival factions crumbled out of their prime. But the inner circle stayed like concrete, standing through every orchestrated crime. The agencies track the money, they can never track the omerta. The inner circle never leaves, even when the federal heat is near. They are in every corporate takeover, executing the exact protocol of fear. One encrypted call, one offshore wire, one target wiped from the slate. The inner circle never leaves, because treason dictates a fatal fate. We buried the rivals and celebrated the crash, laundered the billions in untraceable cash, laughed when the task force thought they had a case, while we permanently erased them from the database. You always knew when the market would bleed, before the algorithm ever planted the seed. And somehow silence was the only required code to transport the capital down the digital road. Time tested every offshore account we built, washing away the evidence, liquidating the guilt. The elite men who hold the keys to the vault will never let this global monopoly halt. Real architects don't panic, they remain in the absolute shadows. The inner circle never leaves, even when the federal heat is near. They are in every corporate takeover, executing the exact protocol of fear. One encrypted call, one offshore wire, one target wiped from the slate. The inner circle never leaves, because treason dictates a fatal fate. Maybe we don't meet in the daylight, maybe we don't use open lines, but if I initiate the purge protocol at 2 in the morning, I already know the rival infrastructure is gonna burn. Targets fall, markets crash, loyalty holds, empire expands. The inner circle never leaves, even after decades in the global game. They are in the ledges that would permanently hidden, the absolute terror attached to my name. If one day this dark monopoly faces a threat, and the agencies try to finally breach the door, I won't be relying on a legal defense. I will unleash the inner circle, who have been waiting to orchestrate the final war. Amateurs flip when the pressure drops, my architects bleed the system dry. End of transmission. I watched the cowards vanish when the margins dropped, and the federal indictment simply couldn't be stopped. The encrypted wire got strangely quieter then, as has a funny habit of revealing who you know. I remember empty penthouses and the burning of the wire, and the few elite architects who walk through the fire. The purge eliminates the weak, but sometimes it leaves the most lethal behind. The men who stayed when the global grid went dark on me, when the escape routes disappeared, and all we had was absolute secrecy. They never asked for an exit plan, never compromised the play. The men who stayed are the reason we own the market today. Talk on the phones or meet in the light. We just orchestrate the takeovers dead in the night. No families, no weaknesses, no passing years, just the execution of protocol, confirming their fears. Every time the inner circle meets at the top, we calculate the exact moment competitors drop. We laugh about the informants who thought they could hide, raise a glass to the rivals who financially died, finding the ultimate comfort in the violence we command, with the entire global infrastructure right in our hand. Absolute trust is never built on profit alone. The men who stayed when the global grid went dark on me, when the escape routes disappeared, shares your blood. Some share the federal heat, some share the offshore codes, and some simply execute the order year after year without leaving a trace. One more acquisition, one more liquidation, one more cocktail buried, still standing. The men who stay were never chasing the temporary fame. They built this empire on lethal loyalty, not on an amateur street level name. If I measure my net worth at the end of the line, it won't be the billions hidden in the offshore design. It will be the boardroom chairs exclusively occupied by the architects who stood by my side. The underworld kneels to us today. A lot of amateurs tried to leave the syndicate. Now they rest beneath the foundation. The men who stay inherit the earth. Session closed. We came from different sectors of the underworld trade, different aliases, different fortunes we made, different federal warrants attached to our names, different methods of manipulating the games. The system introduced us slowly through the offshore wire. One liquidated rival, one coordinated fire. ultimate test. Blood creates vulnerabilities. Absolute compliance secures the monopoly. Nardo syndicate shed blood. Some are chosen through the corporate war, forging federal raids in the night strike, and set on every global score. They know the architect behind the digital code, not the public mask I wear on the corporate road. Nardo syndicate shed blood. Some simply chose to execute the protocol. We watch the rival factions violently bleed, executing the exact takeovers that we need. Shared encrypted ledger before the morning light, when global domination was our only sight. We never counted favors or tracked the person to death. We just finalized the numbers and secured the bet, because the absolute inner circle isn't measured by a name, it is measured by the bodies we remove from the game. Every hostile acquisition became a chapter of our own, securing the perimeter entirely around my phone. You cannot choose your biological beginning, but you can engineer your elite circle. Nardo syndicate shed blood. Some are chosen through the corporate war, forging federal raids in the night strike, setting every global score. They know the architect behind the digital code, not the public mask I wear on the corporate road. Nardo syndicate shed blood. So simply chose to execute the protocol. If tomorrow the agencies freeze every physical asset I own, believe me, with these elite operators, I will rebuild the entire global market. Before midnight. Different areas, same encrypted ledger, same lethal loyalty, total synchronization. Nardo syndicate shed blood. Some are built by decades of absolute trust. The white servers broken right, turning their empires to dust. The underworld asks who orchestrated the fall, or who helped me secure the ultimate monopoly of all. I've a point beyond my biological family tree, to the architects who secured the grid with me. DNA makes you a liability. Lethal loyalty makes you untouchable. The circle is closed. We finalized the contracts in the early years, before the global market understood our fears. Built our infrastructure in the dead of night, and weaponized the shadows to avoid the light. We weren't the kind to leave a vocal trace. The offshore ledger already secured our place. One nod across the corporate boardroom floor was worth 1,000 bodies in the cartel war. We have watched regimes rise and violently fall, but the absolute strongest weapon was the silence of it all. Amateur syndicates need constant validation. The inner circle only needs the coordinates. The architects don't need many words. A quiet look can initiate the strike. A secured line pulled up beside the fire means we liquidate the rival accounts tonight. No recorded speeches in the pouring rain. No digital footprints left inside the sky. The architects don't need many words, because lethal precision never has to justify. We shared the encrypted data before the dawn. Watched the hostile takeover perfectly drawn. Sat for hours while the servers wiped it clean, operating flawlessly behind the global screen. You knew the exact target behind my corporate smile. I knew the execution would take a little while. Neither one of us asked a single federal question. We simply dismantled their entire progression. Years have scattered the competitors like ash, while we quietly accumulated all the liquid cash. If I send a signal strictly after midnight, you already know exactly who loses the fight. Federal warrants change the location, never the omerta. The architects don't need many words. A quiet look can initiate the strike. A secured line pulled up beside the fire means we liquidate the rival accounts tonight. No recorded speeches in the pouring rain. No digital footprints left inside the sky. The architects don't need many words, because lethal precision never has to justify. One day, the agencies will ask, who orchestrated the perfect monopoly? It won't be the loud street bosses, it will be the men who quietly disposed of the evidence. Again and again. One signal, one blackout, one erasure, total compliance. The architects don't need many words, just another federal evasion executed together. Another coordinated crash through the financial weather. When the indictments have taken everything that the rival cartels placed inside their hands, I will still hold the absolute power with the elite few who never needed to say a single word. The loudest criminals end up on the wiretap. The quiet ones on the network, file encrypted. federal headlines or the amateur fame, or speak to the wiretaps to elevate their name. They would rather keep the omerta and finalize the code than leave a digital footprint on the cartel road. Their hands are perfectly clean from the violence they delegate. Their offshore accounts carry the financial weight of the state. They know every hostile takeover has an absolute price. They never ask for mercy, they just roll the loaded dice. Absolute dominance is engineered when the surveillance network is completely blind. The last untouchable men still secure the perimeter and execute the exact play. Still stand beside the monarch when the rivals fade away. They don't wear flashy crowns or chase the street applause. They simply dismantle empires without a single pause. If the underworld still has a pulse, it is entirely controlled by the last untouchable men. They have buried rival bosses, raised the global margin lines, watched the old syndicates collapse into their own designs. They have learned that corporate leverage is less about the street than having absolute power. When the cartels face defeat, they will stop to orchestrate a crash in the pouring rain. Not because the feds are watching, but to inflict the pain. You won't never hear their testimonies in a federal court. They rarely leave a survivor to file the police report. The most lethal syndicate doesn't announce how deep it goes. It just financially asphyxiates every target that it knows. Absolute respect is extracted, one liquidated asset at a time. The last untouchable men still secure the perimeter and execute the exact play. Still stand beside the monarch when the rivals fade away. They don't wear flashy crowns or chase the street applause. They simply dismantle empires without a single pause. If the underworld still has a pulse, it is entirely controlled by the last untouchable men. Maybe they're not the last. Maybe they're simply the only apex predators the algorithm hasn't purged. Zero witnesses, total extraction. Zero ego, absolute loyalty. The last untouchable men will never make the evening news broadcast, but every global market is manipulated by their past. If the remaining cartels remember anything when they think about my sovereign name, I hope they realize we permanently rigged the entire game. And I command the last untouchable men, not amateurs, not street legends, just the architects. The perimeter is permanently secured. Streets when the night's gone cold, no diamond shine, no chains of gold, just worn out boots and a weathered soul. 1,000 scars nobody knows. The city talks, the city lies, selling dreams beneath neon skies. But I learned early what matters most: a steady hand when the storm gets close. I don't need a throne to know my worth. I built my kingdom here on earth. I'm a king without a crown. No castle walls, no fame around. I stand my ground when the lights go down. A king without a crown. No servants here, no royal name. Just lessons learned through loss and pain. The world keeps spinning, I stay the same. A king without a crown. Shadows that never stay. I've raised a glass to the fallen few and carried ghosts like gentlemen do. The rich may own the city's gold, but they can't buy a heart that's whole. When everything is stripped away, character is the price you pay. The strongest steel survives the flame. That's how a man earns his name. I'm a king without a crown. No castle walls, no fame around. I stand my ground when the lights go down. The king without a crown. No servants here, no royal name. Just lessons learned through loss and pain. The world keeps spinning, I stay the same. A king without a crown. No applause in the dead of night. No one sees the private fights, but every scar beneath my skin reminds me where I've always been. I don't need the world to understand. A quiet man can still command. I'm a king without a crown. No golden throne to weigh me down. The rain keeps falling on this town. Still I wear no crown. The years may bend these tired bones, but I'll never bow to what I don't own. When my final sunset comes around, I'll leave this world a king without a crown. Slow guitar bends. Thunder in the distance. The masses crave recognition. They want their names in lights. I prefer the shadows. You cannot target a man who does not exist. These streets 1,000 nights, beneath the corporate towers and surveillance lights. They used to have a file on my face, now chase the fame. True power has no public name. I made the city forget my name, like encrypted data in a burning frame. The networks I built, the markets I play, all weaponized inside the shade. I made the city forget my name. It was the ultimate tactical move I made. Now I control the streets the same, operating perfectly inside the shade. There was a syndicate that knew my star before I tore their monopoly apart. Now the legacy lives somewhere far away, like a bankrupt firm the market forgot to pay. The young executives run like I once did, certain they can outsmart the global grid. I watch them pass beneath the neon signs, knowing I own their financial lines. Let the politicians chase the fame. True power has no public name. I made the city forget my name, like encrypted data in a burning frame. The networks I built, the markets I play, all weaponized inside the shade. I made the city forget my name. It was the ultimate tactical move I made. Now I control the streets the same, operating perfectly inside the shade. Fools spend their lives trying to leave a mark. I spent my resources owning the dark. No spotlight lasts forever, but the ledger is absolute. Vanish without a trace. The servers wipe, the identity is gone. Perfect silence. Let the politicians chase the applause. Let the executives beg for the spotlight. Fame is just a target painted on your back. Power is silent, and I operate in the dark. I watched the corporate lights, the executive chase and public highs. I wore the tailored suit to observe the game, before I realized the trap of fame. They collect the press like golden trophies, stack them high upon a shelf. public profile only weakens the empire itself. The boardroom stood and cheered, but the unseen architect engineered the fall. Control sounds better than applause, better than another public ovation, better than the media calling my name without knowing who funds the nation. I traded every spotlight shining bright for absolute power under the night. Control sounds better than applause, because shadows never asked me to perform. Liquidate the assets before the market hardens. Keep the profile zero, let the proxies take the heat while I orchestrate the panic from the penthouse suite. They want the magazine covers, I want the infrastructure. Tear apart the syndicate and redefine the structure. Walking away, no, I dictate the terms. Absolute silence while the competition burns. Fame makes noise, power whispers. I mastered the frequency. Control sounds better than applause, better than another public ovation, better than the media calling my name without knowing who funds the nation. I traded every spotlight shining bright for absolute power under the night. Control sounds better than applause, because shadows never asked me to perform. One day the applause fades, the headlines disappear, the indictments clear the room. Then it is just them facing the bankruptcy, and me holding the deeds. No stage, no spotlight, just a steady cash flow and a flawless alibi. Without leaving a single trace of pain. If no one knows my name tomorrow, but I still dictate the global scale, that is enough. The world chases louder victories. I take the silent ones every time. Perfect silence. Weak men drink to escape reality. They hope the bottom of the glass hides their failures. I drink to appreciate the reality I created. The truth is simple. I own the board. Bartender nights pours the luxury blend. We both know how the hostile takeover ends. A fresh glass gas lands on the marble wood. Another rival liquidated for good. The mainframe hums a digital tune, routing offshore funds beneath the moon. And every ledger cuts straight through to the empire I am expanding anew. They keep shifting the assets in their hand, but the absolute truth dictates the land. Another glass, same truth. No evidence left, no need for proof. They think they can outsmart the net, but the syndicate always collects its debt. Another glass, same truth. The leverage gets stronger, the strike cuts through. No matter where they try to hide, I control the rising tide. Instead of my weight, they blamed every algorithm I engineered. Everything except the phantom they feared. The ice melts slow, the market falls fast. Funny how I reread the corporate past. They spend years outrunning the ghost, then find me sitting as a silent host. The network gets quiet after 2. That is when their denial bows to my truth. Another glass, same truth. No evidence left, no need for proof. They think they can outsmart the net, but the syndicate always collects its debt. Another glass, same truth. The leverage gets stronger, the strike cuts through. No matter where they try to hide, I control the rising tide. The fixer said to me, most men don't come here to drink. They come here to negotiate with reality. I smiled. I don't negotiate with reality. I dictate it. Is mine when the daylight isn't. They came here hoping to escape the trap, but found the architect redrawing the map. Another glass, same truth. The hardest road is the one I pave, and somewhere between the first wire and the last, I stopped observing the world and started ruling it. The ice settles, the funds transfer, perfect silence. They build their glass towers over our old safe houses. They think they paved over the past, but the infrastructure knows who laid the foundation. The city belongs to me. The city changed its face again. New corporate towers where my rivals had been. The old safe house, the smuggling door. They wiped the records from the floor. The civilians rush with lowered heads, financing their lives on my silent debts. Nobody stops, nobody stares, nobody knows I own the shares. But when the midnight grid comes down, I am the absolute architect of this town. The street lights still remember the nights I built this empire in the cold. The offshore accounts inside my pocket, and the politicians I have sold. The street lights still remember every hostile road I chose to take. Though the public moved on without me, they don't see the fortunes that I make. There is a concrete pillar by the river bend where I had a meeting with a former friend. We swore we would rule this town someday, until his ambition got in my way. One took a wire transfer and disappeared. One lies beneath the concrete this year, and I am still here, pulling the strings, dictating what the midnight brings. The media erased what we became, but the underground ledger keeps my name. The street lights still remember the nights I built this empire in the cold. The offshore accounts inside my pocket, and the politicians I have sold. The street lights still remember every hostile road I chose to take. Though the public moved on without me, they don't see the fortunes that I make. Amateurs fear being forgotten. They want their statues in the square. True power is a shadow. It operates perfectly in the dark. The street lights still remember the phantom who walked beneath their glow. The monarch who learned that strength is silent and burying the rivals deep below. The street lights still remember, though nobody dares to speak my name. And that is exactly how I rule. I don't need recognition, I own the game. The street lights dim, the grid is secure. Perfect silence. The old bosses used to tell me, luck is a mistress passing through. One day she smiles upon your syndicate, next day she permanently buries you. I have seen lucky men lose their grip, seen the desperate trying to survive. And I learned early in the underground, luck does not keep the empire alive. When the market crashes and the numbers fall down, only the architect remains in this town. I trust the leverage more than luck, more than promises, more than chance. Luck may find them for a fleeting moment, but the strategy dictates the dance. I trust the leverage more than luck. Every asset seized, every rival paid for. Because what I built with absolute control cannot be breached at the vault door. I have had algorithms fail in the digital rain. I have navigated through the federal lines. I have missed the hostile takeover by inches and quietly adjusted the corporate designs. But every setback was a measured variable, every detour a calculated sign, and every anomaly in the global market eventually fell perfectly into line. Fortune comes and fortune goes, but the ledger follows the man who knows. I trust the leverage more than luck, more than promises, more than chance. Luck may find them for a fleeting moment, but the strategy dictates the dance. I trust the leverage more than luck. Every asset seized, every rival paid for. Because what I built with absolute control cannot be breached at the vault door. I met a rival in the penthouse suite. He swore his lucky streak would last. I met a fixer in the underground who trusted nothing but the data. Years later, the rival's empire is erased, and the fixer works for me. I trust the leverage more than luck, because luck is a liability, not a friend. It might sit beside them for a little while, but I control exactly how their story ends. I trust the leverage more than luck, because the market never gave me anything free. It demanded ruthless, absolute execution, and in return, it gave me the monopoly. The variables are eliminated. The outcome is certain. Perfect silence. They ask if I ever miss the man I used to be, the one with a conscience, the one with limits. I tell them the truth. A conscience is a liability I could no longer afford. I caught my reflection in the penthouse glass, watching the city traffic pass, cold in my eyes, tailored in black. A mastermind who never looks back. I stood there longer than I should have, remembering the rookie I used to be, the one who thought the system was fair, the one who cared about the casualty. He wasn't wiser, he wasn't strong, he just didn't know where he belonged. I think of who I used to be sometimes, the hesitation, the moral lines, before I learned how heavy power can get, before I traded mercy for the net. I think of who I used to be sometimes. the pain. Back then every handshake was a bond. Every contract was a sacred song. Every rival was just a face waiting to compete in a fair embrace. Now I know how the markets break, how much capital it takes to persuade, how some hostile takeovers leave no survivors, and how the underground ledgers never fade. The years gave answers, that is true, but they demanded a sacrifice too. I think of who I used to be sometimes, the hesitation, the moral lines, before I learned how heavy power can get, before I traded mercy for the net. I think of who I used to be sometimes, not because I want that life again, but to remind myself what I had to kill to become the architect of the pain. If that younger man walked through the door tonight, stepped out of the past and into my light, he wouldn't recognize the throne I made. He would be terrified of the shade and the monsters I learned how to control. I think of who I used to be sometimes, when the servers hum and the market climbs, when no delusions drift through the air and the silence catches me unaware. I think of who I used to be sometimes, but I wouldn't trade this empire away, because that young man was a liability, and this monarch learned how to stay. The crime remains. Perfect silence. The amateurs dressed in borrowed gold, talking much louder than the assets they hold, trying to buy a reputation in the street that absolute leverage would quickly defeat. Then I looked at the empire I quietly built. No flashy distractions, no blood strictly spilt. I never tell the public exactly who I am. The offshore accounts execute the plan. I monitor more than I ever interrupt. Pay attention when the global markets erupt. Some bosses wear diamonds to shine in the light. I simply own the grid and operate at night. Arrogance catches the federal eyes. Absolute control ensures the demise. Dominance is quiet. It doesn't need another public stage. It walks in without an introduction and traps the competition in a cage. It executes the protocol when the surveillance network is blind. Dominance is quiet because absolute power leaves the noise behind. I let the cartels buy the exotic cars and the chains, while I quietly acquire the supply and the domains. I've learned the most lethal conversations happen off the grid, liquidating rival syndicates for the highest bid. There is a lethality in staying out of the press, a massive strength in operating with zero stress. Some street bosses spend their lives begging to be seen. I spend mine orchestrating the global machine. A calm handshake, an encrypted goodbye before their entire infrastructure starts to die. Execution arrives quietly, but the monopoly stays permanently. Dominance is quiet. It doesn't need another public stage. It walks in without an introduction and traps the competition in a cage. It executes the protocol when the surveillance network is blind. Dominance is quiet because absolute power leaves the noise behind. You don't recognize the true monarch by the car or the tailored suit. You recognize him by the sheer absence of his rivals, by the absolute silence of the competition. Zero ego, pure leverage. Zero image, total monopoly. Dominance is quiet, like a system blackout before the dawn. Like an architect who knows his exact net worth, while the pawns are systematically withdrawn. It doesn't chase the cartel's cheap approval. It doesn't compete with street level pride, because the most lethal kind of confidence is the kind that watches the empire slide. Dominance is quiet, and the underworld belongs to me. You can buy street attention, you can rent a cartel, but absolute dominance is taken. Perfect silence. The federal heat was hotter than they planned. The market margin slipping entirely from their hand. The grid held nothing but encrypted clouds and fading traces of their panic-stricken crowds. Some wiretaps never came back to the base. Some rivals were entirely erased from the space. I stopped expecting their surrender or their plea when I engineered the crash that made them bleed. The radio faded into static on the wire, but the algorithm kept feeding the fire. Sometimes absolute acquisition is the only way when their infrastructure starts to decay. You don't always need a boardroom consensus. Sometimes you just need the exact coordinates to strike. I kept executing anyway, through the panic and through the doubt, past the federal traps they set for me, toward a monopoly they couldn't figure out. Every liquidation carried a message, every server wipe brought a clue. I kept executing anyway, until absolute power carried me through. There were nights the cartel thought I would turn around, thinking maybe the monarch had finally lost ground, but every ledger held the exact same fate, putting another syndicate entirely on my plate. So I trusted the encrypted highway ahead more than the informants I already left for dead, because staying still is how an empire dies. I chose to weaponize the truth behind the lies. These hostile takeovers on about arriving, they are about keeping the entire underworld dividing. Even when the defense and blind start to drop, I will liquidate the bottom to secure the top. The market crash didn't end because they begged, it ended because I finished buying kept executing anyway, through the panic and through the doubt, past the federal traps they set for me, toward a monopoly they couldn't figure out. Every liquidation carried a message, every server wipe brought a clue. I kept executing anyway, until absolute power carried me through. The underworld thinks power looks like violence. Sometimes it looks like initiating the offshore wire transfer. One more time. Servers online, grid secured, assets frozen, keep acquiring. I kept executing anyway, when their defensive tactics made no sense at all, when the capital hid behind the crash and the leverage felt painfully small. Now I smile at the ruined cartels behind me, because they taught me how to weaponize the play. The syndicate never promised mercy, only total control, and I kept executing anyway. Amateurs wait for the market to recover. I drive the hearse that buries it. Destination reached. Every transaction tracked their weakness, even when the rivals hid their name. Every market shift met me honestly, never asking how I rigged the game. The legend never cared for excuses, didn't reward their panic or their pride. It simply stretched across the global grid, waiting for my assets to collide. I've watched empires disappear behind me, watched liquidations arrive with dawn. The higher I elevated the syndicate, the faster the competitors were gone. The system never promised mercy, only absolute results. The legend never lied. Every margin became a mirror, showing me the architect I was, and making the monopoly clearer. It never judged my hostile takeovers, never celebrated the cartel's name. The legend never lied, it simply proved I own the entire game. I've navigated federal storms with no names, parked the offshore accounts, manipulated the frame, shared boardroom tables with the desperate and weak, who left the infrastructure vulnerable to the leak. No audit could measure the moves that I made, no analyst could explain how the underground paid. The hardest corporate raids I ever designed became the blueprint for leaving the assets behind. The system taught patience without speaking a word, discipline in the shadows where the violence is blurred. Every decimal point became a lethal demand, written in the code only I understand. You cannot cheat the algorithm, you either own it or it destroys you. The legend never lied. Every margin became a mirror, showing me the architect I was, and making the monopoly clearer. It never judged my hostile takeovers, never celebrated the cartel's name. The legend never lied, it simply proved I own the entire entire game. Looking back, the weak blame the market. They blamed luck, they blamed the federal raid. Then one day, the data showed me the only direction you can truly trust is total ownership. One more acquisition. One more market crash. One more erase trace. Total control. The legend never lied, not once through all these corporate years. It told me power requires absolute distance, and control requires eliminating their fears. Now I don't fear another federal probe or another rival trying to fight, because every system that tested my reign was swallowed completely into the night. The legend never lied, it only revealed the truth. One liquidation at a time. Amateurs search for luck. I found absolute power in the margins. Perfect silence. I used to watch the city run its daily race. Amateurs chasing capital in a crowded space, calling the daytime hustle getting something done. But real power operates away from the sun. By sunset they assume the battlefield is clear. They power down their networks, paralyze their fear. So I boot up the mainframe on a secure back road, just to watch their entire infrastructure implode. The market turns from green to a bleeding red. Funny how their empires crash while they are in bed. Some bosses need the daytime glory, I just need an evening where the firewalls drop. The quiet evenings serve me, when the public noise has had its say, when the federal agencies lose their hurry, and the surveillance fades away. I don't need another daytime victory, or a public mountain left to climb. The quiet evenings serve me, one hostile takeover at a time. Tastes colder when the servers align. The offshore accounts are now exclusively mine. The encrypted wire plays a digital blues while I feed the media. The morning news headlights drift the borders unseen, while I launder the assets clean through the machine. For the first time in a decade, the cartel is erased. Silence feels like a rival permanently displaced. The world can keep tomorrow. Tonight is the heist, where the generational wealth is quietly sliced. The older I become, the more I weaponize the hours they spend sleeping. The quiet even serve me, when the public noise has had its say, when the federal agencies lose their hurry, and the surveillance fades away. I don't need another daytime victory, or a public mountain left to climb. The quiet evening serve me, one hostile take just think. Rest is something you earn. I know. Rest is a fatal vulnerability. Because a sleeping target never sees the blade coming. The network shuts down. The servers cool. The accounts freeze. The empire expands. The quiet evening serve me. Not because my empire needs to rest, but because the darkness gives me space to put their loyalties to the ultimate test. If the morning asks for their financial surrender, I'll have the contracts ready to give. Because these midnight hours remind me I am the only one permitted to live. The quiet evenings serve me every single time the sun goes down. The world can have the daytime. I'll take the evening. That's where I found my peace. They think the neon lights are just for show, but every bulb is a camera, every wire is a vein. The city watches everything, and I watch the city. Neon lights paint the sidewalk blue, illuminating the assets I acquired anew. Every sector, every financial zone knows the syndicate operates alone. A burner phone rests between my hands, executing the hostile takeover plans. The city whispers soft and low. The wire transfers I let go. I leave no trace of what I have done, but the mainframe tracks everyone. Neon lights know my secrets. Every bribe, every unseen debt, every competitor I put to sleep. Every hostile threat I met. Neon lights know my secrets. Laundering algorithms play. Now the screen in front of me sits still, processing the accounts I intend to kill. The data taps rhythms on the glass, keeping time with the fortunes I amass. And every drop in the market cap is another rival caught inside the trap. The market changes, the empires fade, but the underground monopoly is made. Neon lights know my secrets. Every bribe, every unseen debt, every competitor I put to sleep. Every hostile threat I met. Neon lights know my secrets. Though I never leave a word, they illuminate the money trail and the alarms that no one heard. could speak tonight, they would expose the financial fight about the architect controlling the board and the silent power he has stored. Judge my game, they watch the corporations fall, and they watch me erase the name. Neon lights know my secrets, from the first wire to the last. They are the silent witnesses to the shadows I have cast. The grid goes dark, the funds clear, perfect silence. He shows up before the market opens, with tailored suits and steady hands. Smiles at investors on the network while trying to save his broken plans. He keeps the illusion of power alive, even when the margins bleed him deep. Carries deficits nobody hears, in offshore accounts he cannot keep. The public sees another billionaire face, walking through another corporate day. They never see the quiet financial war I orchestrated to make him pay. Not every fatal wound bleeds on the public stage. Every rival has a quiet liability, a panic that never reaches the sky. A deficit no audit can capture, a bankruptcy hidden behind his eyes. Still he gets up for the boardroom morning, still he answers when the investors call. Every rival has a quiet liability, and I am the one who makes them fall. I track the executives laughing at dinner, then panicking over the wire at night. I monitor the heirs who look unshaken while begging the feds for a little light. I watch the old bosses wear calm expressions, though the infrastructure is barely holding on. Not because they fear the market truth, but because I bought the debt before the dawn. Some hostile takeovers leave no headlines, some executions never make the news. I find the quiet battles they are fighting and manipulate the angles so they lose. Absolute power is born from the secrets you weaponize. Every rival has a quiet liability, a panic that never reaches the sky. A deficit no audit can capture, a bankruptcy hidden behind his eyes. Still he gets up for the boardroom morning, still he answers when the investors call. Every rival has a quiet liability, and I am the one who makes them fall. If you see a cartel boss, a little quieter, a little slower to move, a little quicker to compromise, don't assume he found peace. Assume my syndicate already owns his life. No empathy, just leverage. No escape, just acquisition. Every rival has a quiet liability. Some with massive debt, some with federal fear, some with informants that still echo across the wiretaps I engineer. There is no beauty in their desperate struggle when the algorithm strips them to the bone. Because the quietest predator in the room is the one who takes their entire throne. Every rival has a quiet liability, and the bravest thing they can do is surrender the keys before I break the door. Not every execution needs an audience, but every rival gets erased. Perfect silence. They move their assets across borders. They think distance provides security. But the global market is a closed loop, and I hold the key. Track their funds across the globe, dismantling networks that try to probe different cities, different corporate fronts, different targets for my silent hunts. Every offshore haven promised a war, but I engineered the protocol. They tried to hide behind a foreign state, but my algorithms seal their fate. The jurisdiction shift their lines, but the syndicate maintains the design. Every horizon looks the same at night. When you manipulate the satellite light, they keep on running toward a safe retreat, but I own the ground beneath their feet. Every horizon looks the same at night, just in the sector in my line of sight. And somewhere between the borders they crossed, they realized the war was already lost. I watched the stock value fade behind, erasing the empires they designed. They thought immunity lived in foreign banks, thought they could quietly break the ranks. But sanctuary is an illusion here. It doesn't exist in another hemisphere. You carry the debt wherever you go, and I am the one who runs the show. The global servers process the trade, and every rival is swallowed a chance to run. I told him the acquisition was already done. His empire dissolved long before the dawn. Every horizon looks the same at night when you command the ultimate height. The markets don't care how far you have flown, they only answer to the unseen throne. Every horizon looks the same at night. Now they finally understand the view. The global grid was never a place to hide. It was a web leading straight back to me. The servers sink, the borders erase, perfect silence.